pretty lousy if your community members have real concern. And so finding a way for us to kind of accurately set those expectations. Yeah.
Right.
And then the flip of that is also just in terms of that building trust, it's saying somebody's invested in you and at least showing up to listen, I think, and that's where that, exactly, that engagement strategy is so important. But, and really pairing, right, like what we get from these listening sessions is going to guide whether or not we create an event and have a secondary ask, right? Like if there's an ask that is appropriate and that is like in proportion to the positionality of that group, and maybe that it's not.
So another thing that I'm thinking and looking at your long-term ask and related to that as well is just, cards on the table, this is not a super diverse group. And so if you could also use some of these listening sessions as a way to maybe think about people who would make great future commissioners as well. I don't really like the idea that we have the commission and we have the community. I mean, we have a community seat, but if we could start to, find the technical experts from those communities and kind of make them feel welcome, that would be an awesome extra benefit.
Couldn't agree more. That should be actually listed right here. Yeah.
And also, I think the commission in the past have talked about participating in citywide events, like for example, Arbor Day. Maybe there's an opportunity to have a tent with the Urban Forestry Commission, and maybe there could be one or two commissioners just there sharing what it is that they do, and just kind of having your presence, maybe also at Green Seattle Day. Some of those kind of events that are already well sponsored by the city, that could be an entry point. And also, I totally agree with the idea of going to different locations to where people are already meeting and maybe have public meetings there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the intent of this slide is just to outline a couple of ideas that are relatively simple and possible to implement around, the idea that the core piece of UFC still are these meetings that we have twice a month, and the fact that these do feel pretty exclusive. There's only certain types of people who are able to come and make a comment here, and the people around the table as well, and who's properly represented. And so things like, meeting in another place, meeting directly in areas that will give us more interaction with different nonprofits and different geographies. Changing the meeting time so that it's not during working hours, so that people who do have full working days can still be able to come afterwards. These are all some of the different options that we would like to float up as possibilities. And one big piece of making it worth somebody's time to come to some of these meetings is what do we actually discuss in the meeting itself. And so if we're spending a lot of time, for example, like editing a memo or a letter, that might be something that's less interesting to someone who just wants to be able to get a sense of some of the different issues that we really care about. And so thinking about how do we want to use all of our time and some of the time of the people who want to participate. So what happens here versus in subcommittees or in other sessions.
Something else that we've heard is that for after-hours meetings, if there is the provision of food and childcare, that usually encourages people to attend. And I could have some conversations to try to figure out what kind of budget I can drum up to support those efforts. Because I think that could be also, it could be like that October meeting, a celebration of the Urban Forestry Commission offering to the community and providing some of these supporting mechanisms that would allow them to be there.
Something that might fit well with that is the idea of collaborating with other commissions.
Yeah.
For instance, 3 or 4 commissions can meet in the same community center at the same time. Something like childcare would become much more affordable. We can have just a central option.
We have ideas from other commissions that have put some of this into effect. I guess that's one of the questions. Are there, have you contacted other commissions in terms of how they're dealing with this issue of outreach and equity?
Absolutely. So some of the ideas that have been floated out, some of the other commissioners, they do provide food, they do provide healthcare. Many of them do switch up the time so that it's not during the typical 8 to 5 or 96 sort of working hours. They do it after, later in the evening. So those are some of the sort of, again, the very easy ones for being able to try to switch up the time.
And you had mentioned also producing like a one-pager with information about the commission. Is that something you are still thinking of doing?
Yes, so we talked about, I think we
Is
had.
this the email response, the FAQ?
Yeah,
FAQ, yeah.
Yeah. Put that somewhere. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
One pager for email response or online FAQs, things like that.
Yeah, because at this point, usually what I say is, thank you very much for your email, I have shared it with the Urban Forestry Commission. And pretty much I remain very, very neutral. So something else, like sending something in return, and this is something that the commission would like to share with you, could be nice.
And we talked about the form-based system would also not only categorize and allow us to aggregate, but it actually could direct that specific email to the right department. So let's say they selected development, it goes straight to SDCI. If it's about a street tree, it goes straight to urban forestry, you know, and that way it would kind of, we could actually act as a resource, as a liaison, direct people to the right resource. And at the end of the form submission, they could either receive an email receipt where the screen would say thank you for your submission. If you have not heard a response back, this email has been forwarded, or your submission has been forwarded on to whatever contact.
It's still coming to us, though.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, so you're saying forward to.
Well,
So,
yeah, but-
as part of the idea is feedback for us all to know what's going on.
Right, so we would be the administrator of that spreadsheet and that form, and it would be forwarded on to the right people as kind of a value-added benefit for people making comment to the commission, but it would be completely our information that we're tracking and
Exactly, and I think the idea is like getting to the trust and getting people to want to actually